know you are all might be excited about the solution and how we can fix it, but again, it's this first few minutes of the judges or the reviewers who are reading your ideas back. It's where you capture your attention with this clearly defined problem, and we're here to talk about what makes a good problem identification. So for our agenda for today, we will give an overview about the ideas challenge, the plan, the problem, with mostly focusing on the problem identification and what makes a good problem, and then we'll break out into an activity based on either teams you already have or teams you'd like to join, and then we'll have some presentation and we'll outline next steps. Are we good? Okay, and then the third workshop, and the resources that are associated and needed, and the most important part is the money, the time, the skills, and other resources that you might need to build your idea challenge. But yet again, we're just focusing today on the problem side of the idea challenge. Again, we're here to specifically to talk about the problem identification and what makes a good problem. What are the characteristics, and like how to really frame it in a way that will capture the attention of the judges during the pitch that we're going to make in April, and when you submit the idea challenge as well as the idea plan. So with that in mind, I'm not going to go over the opportunity solution and feasibility. These are the other workshops that are going to be coming up very soon. At this point in time, I'd like you to use your phone, your iPad, your laptop, whatever you're using. Check this QR code. And let's see what we have here. If you don't want to use the QR code, you can go on slido.com and use the code DMW1. So in few words, like 3 to 5 words, what makes a good problem statement in your mind? Before we delve into what is a good problem statement, what do you think are the characteristics of a good problem statement? And you can answer more than once. So yes?
It should develop some interest.
Okay, I appreciate that, but if you can type that on this so we can see what it's going to generate, and then we're going to do some discussion. And there's no right or wrong answers. Spider-Man is front and center here, so.
Everyone should know it's
Okay, guys, keep them coming. Keep them coming. These are all important characteristics of a good problem statement. Ideas here in terms of what makes a good problem, in terms of being relatable, i.e. from that perspective, how many people are affected with that. I know it's important for you, but to what degree it's important for other people, so this is really important. The relevance of that. Or in other words, what we talk about, and we're going to address in our session today, the significance of the problem. It is important to you, but is it important to other people as well? The population, who is affected by that? This is really important as well. be objective about this problem. Should ignite interest, should capture the attention of whoever you are sharing this problem with. What else do we see here? Anything else that stands out to you and you'd like to give more elaboration about that? Okay, being measurable, using numbers. Okay, the outcome. Okay, what else? Clearly defined and shows important. These are good and excellent ideas. Okay, clear and concise. Being very succinct in 1 or 2 minutes, capturing the attention of the judge or the reviewer in terms of why is it disordered. This is really important aspect of them. Okay. Any other thoughts, suggestions? Is there anything that you have in mind that was not addressed over there? Anybody would like to elaborate on whatever thought or idea they had about what makes a good problem? Anyone? Okay. Okay, moving on. So a good problem statement or a good problem definition is mainly the one that matters to you most importantly. You're going to be working on this project for the rest of the semester, and hopefully if you are among the 10 students or groups or teams that get funded, you'll be working on this during the summer and later on. And some of the students who won during the Difference Maker Ideas Challenge have made a career out of that. So it's important to be a problem that matters to you, that you have a passion for it, and to others as well. And it's typically a problem with social importance, i.e. addressing issues that it's important to you, but also to what degree they impact society, the community you live in, or the broader community as well, as we've seen through, and we will see through other examples in the Difference Maker program. So some of the problems that were in the Difference Maker are mostly focusing on impact, having social impact, whether health equity issues or access issues or issues of importance to the community, contribute to healthier lifestyle, or to have some innovative technology solutions, or first to the market something innovative and new, and other categories include the honorable mention. So as you look through this list, it's like the impact that this problem will have on the community and on the society as well as the group of people that you're going to identify as you are defining that problem statement. So take a minute. Let's look at this white paper. It's an idea plan example of one of the Difference Maker team winners in the last few years. And let's see how they framed their problem identification in the idea plan. And let's look into the elements that are really characterizing their problem statement. I know we highlighted a couple of these important characteristics, but please check that out and let's discuss this further. So take a minute, read it, and we'll discuss it in a few minutes. This problem in the bipolar here is significant. Why is it important? Yes?
Yeah, so they clearly talk about why this problem needs to be solved.
Okay.
So, and they are envisioning how, the solution of this problem can result in a better social life for everyone around, the problem. So this is the first thing. Secondly, they're not just sharing their opinions, they're talking facts.
Okay.
And they have referenced their facts quite well.
Okay.
So these two things were the highlights.
Okay, appreciate it. So they did the research, the primary and secondary research, and they cited that, and they reflected why is it significant. Other thoughts, why do you think it's important? Did they identify who was affected by that problem? Can you point that out?
The population of the problem countries?
It's mainly in Haiti, so in developing countries. And what else? Any more specifics about that? So the impact is like and down. So the really has a data. And again, numbers are much more powerful than words, so using that statistics is very important when you are defining your problem, i.e. like why is it significant, who's affected, and most importantly the data, the research, the primary and secondary research you can talk about to be able to define your problem. So at this point in time, I'll pass it to Tom.
Great, thanks, Mazen, and it's really hard to follow what you and Holly has first acts, so see what I can do here. So in this section, we're going to look at two of the winning projects from past years, and these are the QBell project and the CatMap project. I'm going to show you videos of the teams for those projects and how they did their problem specification within their docket pages at the judges. So first we'll talk about QBell. So QBell addresses a problem that nursing students they come to realize when they go into real life situations, and that is that when you're in a hospital, especially in emergency rooms or intensive care situations, the nurses are bombarded by alarms. They tend to start to tune them out after a while because they have so many alarms coming up. And so how can they prioritize those alarms in order to give the best care possible? So let's take a look at how the QBell team described that. So these are YouTube videos, and make sure that we're getting the audio here.
Presenting on how it applies to QBell, I'm Stephanie Wilson, a nursing student. I'm Tracy Bulletin, also a nursing student. We have helps to students.
My name is Jerry Ortega, I'm a science student, just had a name, Chad, and who also has a business in our computer.
So by show of hands, have you ever been to a hospital and felt overwhelmed by the number of lights going off? A few, okay. So nurses work in this environment on a daily basis, which puts them at an increased risk for developing alarm fatigue. Alarm fatigue is when someone becomes desensitized to frequent alarms. And we found that nurses who experience this are 3 times more likely to commit an error. So this could be a medication error. It could be the wrong bed, the wrong dose, the wrong room, and any of these could potentially be fatal to a patient. Alarm fatigue also decreases reaction time, which in turn affects patient satisfaction. And all this compromises patient safety, which could also require nurse and MCP. So all the nursing students were in hospitals in the area working at the Downtown Surgery. We asked 6 paid nurses and aides to take our questionnaire, and we found the majority of participants relatively to experience alarm fatigue. They have problems prioritizing care. They are often overwhelmed and distracted by calls. Right now, the current health system in place is flawed. So this picture on the bottom left is the team row, and the red button at the top is how patients call for help. So we believe that this is going to be friendly for all our patients. It does not help nurses or aides prioritize care. It doesn't help them when the patient talks, and it's going to play that rate as well.
Our solution is QBell. QBell is a mobile application. Here we have a login screen.
Okay, so for tonight's purposes, we're only listening to the problem statements. We're not so much listening to what their solutions are for those problems. But does anyone have a takeaway from what the QBell team has described there? I know it's hard to hear. The audio is not the best because it's being recorded live in a pre-pandemic situation. But I believe, Holly, there you're going to get the slide deck after we finish. So you'll have a link in the slide to the YouTube videos, but also if you go to the Difference Maker YouTube channel, and you'll see a number of videos of past pitches as well as contest videos. And if you're interested in QBell or CatMap in particular, it's easy to search through those videos and get the pitches respectively. Anyone have any comment though about QBell? So let's go on to CatMap. So CatNat is also in the health area, as it were. It's not a mat for felines, but instead is a therapy mat basically to help people recover from ambulatory injuries. So CAT stands for Community Ambulatory something. I forget what the DOT is for, but they're going to tell us. So the problem is basically that in training people in order to learn to walk again after injuries, you can't take them out on rough pavement and experience that directly, because that would be dangerous. We're on a real sidewalk in a real street. So the purpose of CatNat is to try to solve this problem. How do we do therapy? How do we arrange that in a safe environment for people who need to retrain themselves how to walk on multiple types of surfaces? So let's see what they have to say.
Hi everyone, I'm Michelle Malu. And I'm Katie Muse. We're both physical therapy graduate students, and today we're here to talk to you about the Community Ambulation Tool Mat, also known as the CatNat. So physical therapists are movement experts, and abnormality of gait, or a person's manner of walking, is one of the primary impairments that we treat. Currently, there is no lightweight, cost-effective, easy-to-use device that therapists can use to train patients to successfully ambulate in the community or walk outside. We have been studying in this field for 6 years and have experienced this problem firsthand. We know there is a need for a better gait training device. We surveyed UMass Lowell PTs and PTs practicing in the surrounding area. 100% responded that patients would benefit from gait training on uneven terrain. However, 77% said they found it challenging to simulate this terrain, and 74% said that was due, in part, to a lack of functionally accurate simulation devices. The AirX Balance Pad is the most comparable product on the market. It is a foam balance pad that cannot simulate an outdoor environment and patients cannot walk on, and is therefore not a solution to this problem. We also researched common diagnoses associated with gait impairments, and the incidence number per year was staggering, with traumatic brain injury ranking in over 250,000 per year and ankle sprains well over 1 million. DTs are treating these patients every single day, and with insurance constantly tightening the purse strings, we want to get patients better, quicker, faster.
All right, so again, we're just listening to the problem statement and not tonight listening to the solution that they developed. And the example that they were showing was not their solution. Okay? It is an existing solution that is not actually providing what is needed. For me, two things sprang out about their problem statement. One was what I just said, that they show a competing product or competing solution and describe why it does not address the problem. Anyone want to say what is the other major thing about that particular pitch that sprang out? And relate it back to what Austin said. What is a good problem statement in a pitch like this? Anyone? Well, for me, it was the numbers that they are giving. They give real numbers. They give percentages, and they can relate it to their own experiences from their studies or from the so they make a very clear statement about why this product is needed or some solution to this problem. We're not going to listen to their product. I didn't want to see that in a workshop, but I did come up with a solution which was better than the existing solutions at that time.
Yeah, sure.
So this is slightly off topic, but we're excited
achievement, and it speaks volumes about the impact of the diversity program, and hoping for the teams over here to have these opportunities that previous teams had, not only at the level of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, but also nationwide and globally as well. So just to recap all these examples and the info that we had. So again, when thinking about your problem, it's trying to dissect it into questions, like how significant is this problem? So if we look back at the problem of the bio-bubbler ideas by one of the teams. So it is significant. So having a source of clean and fresh water is important. It's a matter of life and death, and it impacts mortality and morbidity. And then how many people are affected by that? They presented facts. So use data, i.e. prevalence, incidence, and the impact of that. And how the people are affected by this problem. So ask yourself these questions. Like who is affected, how many are affected, and how are they affected? And most importantly, how significant this problem is. And again, depending on the scope of what you are proposing and tailoring the solution. With that in mind, keeping these questions and ideas or bullets in your mind as you move forward, like we're gonna start our workshop by defining the problem. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start by having like 1 minute where you think about introduce yourself, your name, major, year at school, state the problem you wanna solve, and if you would need additional teammates. And accordingly, we'll start having groups across the room so we can flesh out this problem identification. This is an exercise. This is by no means the end product. It's just the beginning of the thought process where you are starting to define your problem. It might be your own particular problem for the IBS challenge or working with others just to have hands-on experience on how to define your problem for the IBS challenge. So, are we good? Okay. Okay. Anybody would like to move first? Or you'd like to take a minute, think about it, and then get started?
Should we take a minute?
Okay, sure. I hate to interrupt the energy into this room, so I feel so bad for interrupting all this positive energy in the room, but we need to get back on track. So again, within 1 minute, we'd like to just ask whoever is ready to introduce themselves, their name, major, year at school, and the problem they want to solve. It doesn't have to be within the parameters that we mentioned, but take that into account. So whoever would like to go first, and if you need additional teammates. Ready? Okay. Oh, what did you take?
I'm Drew. I'm a senior at UMass Lowell, and I'm a business major.
And I'm Nolan. I'm also a senior at UMass Lowell. I'm a plastics engineer.
And where our idea is to help combat vitamin D deficiencies in the U.S. And vitamin D deficiencies can affect things like seasonal depression as well as immune systems. So it's a pretty large and growing problem in the U.S.
And we just wanted easier access to vitamin D. And the route we're going right now is to incorporate it in chewing gum, just make it super accessible, and maybe more people would chew vitamin D.
Okay, thank you very much. My major is business administration, so I'm fresh meat kind of. So my idea is help immigrants to speak English in a different way. So it's basically like we find a lot of a significant number of immigrants live in U.S. which they do not speak English well. So I mean the basic. As a result, they have difficulties to make money, find better jobs, like misunderstandings happen frequently, and they do not have a better social integration with the culture from US. So yeah, and like immigrants, the American citizens, everyone is affected by the problem. So my idea, like the learning format that I want to do in this language app or platform, it's something more applicable for their needs and necessities. I mean like daily activities, work, jobs, so it's kind of like a classes based on like what you do every day, not like a multiple choice, like a verb to be or whatever. It's something very practical, you know? So this is what I basically want to do. And I want to put it exercise, podcast, everything, something very nice for try to stimulate the immigrants speak English. You know, I think in crosswords, like, you know, something different that, you know, attract people to do that, you know? Like, yeah, basically, it's that. Thank you very much.
Krasinski. I'm a mechanical engineering junior here at Maxwell, and my problem that I want to solve is create an alternate form of energy for disadvantaged communities utilizing a microscale wind turbine. So I'm also president of Engineers for a Sustainable World. We meet every Wednesday at 6:30, and our design, which we have a physical prototype already in the works. We're about 50% done with it. And we want to take that micro wind turbine and create a product that is cheap to produce, easy to obtain for disadvantaged communities, especially in third world countries, and to create microgrids that are disconnected from the main grids that many communities can utilize at a low cost to them and a low cost to the community. We are, since the rest of my group isn't here tonight, we are mostly engineers, either mechies or electrical. We are looking for more business majors and business-oriented people because we could definitely utilize some help in the marketing department. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. Lots of exciting and energizing ideas here, and lots of really innovation in this room. So what we're gonna do, just for the sake of time, we're gonna define these problems that you identified for your project. So what we'd like you to do at this moment is to use the toolkit that we're gonna be distributing in a minute through the handouts that Holly and David are getting at this moment. So using this toolkit, you'll be able in 10 minutes, clearly state your problem you want to solve, discuss this with the group that you think is affected by this problem, and again, think about these questions, the specifics about this problem, the numbers, the demographics, how many, how they are affected, and how significant it is. And then there is no right or wrong answer at this stage, it's just hands-on activity for you to practice with the first step of the idea of the different speaker idea challenge. So again, using these handouts to work on section 1 of the toolkit within the coming 10 minutes. So each team or each individual in this room who has an idea or problem they'd like to share, you can use this toolkit.
So if you notice the toolkit document, right, the first we have to define the problem at the top. Okay, and basically you're going to give me a long explanation of your problem, but right below that, you're going to have to give me a summary. Does everyone have a worksheet? And right below that, you can summarize the problem. The idea is you want it as concise as possible. Remember we had that slide earlier, we talked about clear and concise. We want that concise. So then what you're going to do is, so these are the real guides to help you out kind of sort of determine who your groups are. You'll see there's a group, a row for each group. Group 1, group 2. Now you may only have one group that you're going to be helping out. But if you have multiple groups, this is basically kind of multiple groups. And then you basically see, you want to look at how many people are in those groups. Now a lot of students and a lot of people, adults do this too. They always give you percentages. You don't want just percentages. It's a good place to start, but ultimately you want to actually know how many there is. And how they're affected, what pain does the customer experience due to the problem, and how significant the problem is. And basically, are they going to pay for it? And or can you improve the quality of life for that group of people? So you want to think about those. And at the bottom, after you learn more about the market opportunity, you can basically have more description. And on the back, there's 2 more groups. If you have groups 3 and 4, you can add those in the back also. And then the idea is you're going to take these groups and you're going to determine questions at one point to go ask them these questions. So thank you. If you have any, I'll be stepping around if you have any questions.
And remember, you are brainstorming, so do not limit yourself. And your 10 minutes starts now. Time is up! Time is up!
John Doherty. I'm that poster up there. My problem is I went through the public education system with autism, and they tried to help me with my problems there. The public schools were not equipped with the tools to assist kids with autism. I want to develop something that will enable autistic kids to build social skills and make friends. And I want to do it in a fun and creative way, because I don't want to medicate anybody who's on autism. I had to deal with that myself. I hated it. So yeah, I do need more team members. I need somebody who can do basically just making it so the kids can understand the product, and designing game board pieces, stuff like that. That's about it.
Okay. Thank you very much. It's fine. You don't have to have a flip.
So my name is Harris, and this is my teammate Frank. So basically, we know we have patients, like at-home patients, who often require doctor's visits to get their vitals checked. Some people who get into medical emergencies at home because they weren't able to predict that. Or people who just have to go to the doctor's office every day, just simply just to get your vitals checked. So that is a problem. We're trying to prevent having the doctor come home every time to come visit someone, because in the case of home patients, there's not that many doctors to patient ratios. So that's the problem we're trying to help them figure out.
You can post it wherever you want. Yeah.
Or you can hold it up too.
Or you can, yeah, that is cool. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Nina and this is Caitlin. We're from Team U Success. So our problem is that there's a severe lack of knowledge around personal finances, and there are a lot of negative effects for paying off education / large amounts of debt post-graduation. So 70% of students are in debt for over $100,000 after they graduate college, and they're still trying to pay these loans back 20 years after graduation. So I guarantee that most of everyone in this room right now has some sort of college debt, students and faculty and mentors alike. So this is a huge problem that we're all facing. It's something that every UMass Lowell student is facing, as well as alumni. So our product is going to really focus around these problems, and we're going to try to get the knowledge about these services and how to plan for your future to freshmen in college, and as well as seniors in high school. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Michael Gulen. I am the CEO of it's actually a company, but it's also an idea. It's called Pop Closet. We're launching our app in a month. What we're trying to solve is that fast fashion is destroying the planet. There are a lot of horrible effects that companies don't really care about when they produce their clothes. So we're building a virtual closet social networking platform that makes it easier to share your closet. So if I want to go and borrow a clothing item from my friend, I can go into their virtual closet profile, see what's all the items in their closet, pick out what I want to borrow, and it's a seamless process. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Brandon, and I'm with Team Amara. So essentially, the problem we're solving is that we can't trust social media. There's been a rise in a massive lack of trust in social media for the following reasons. What are they doing with our data? How are they using our data, right? How much data are they collecting on us? There's a severe rise in mental illness and suicide rates in young children, which is directly linked to the algorithms that they're using on this platform. And this was highlighted actually in a documentary released on Netflix called The Social Dilemma. And so essentially what we're trying to do is reverse what they've done with their algorithms and put the power back into the hands of users and content creators.
As of 2018, 42% of the U.S. population, or 137.26 million Americans, are vitamin D deficient.
and most of these people don't even know that they're vitamin D deficient. And a higher intake of vitamin D can help with a whole bunch of things, whether you have a weakened immune system, you experience seasonal depression in the winter just because of the lack of sun, and yeah, those who don't even know they're deficient. Also just everyday gum chewers who just chew them every day or could learn to chew them every day.
Give a little bit of added value to their gum.
Yep, and they could help reverse these numbers on vitamin D deficiency.
Hi, my name is Kenan, and I'm doing PhD in business administration. So there are three harmonious problems. Number one, there are lack of good marketing tools in terms of psychographics. The collection of data for academicians and researchers is quite expensive, and the learners are always in need of free education. So the problem segments are: number one, marketers. They spend around $162 billion every year in order to do some target marketing, but a lot of that goes waste because there is no good mechanism for psychographic marketing. Number two, there are academic researchers who are in need of collection of data for their surveys, for their publications. And then there are learners who are always in need of getting free of cost training or affordable training. So I'm trying to solve the problems of these three segments by providing one solution that can bridge them together and provide good psychographic marketing tools or data. And number two, learning that can instead help them in earning by providing, like you'll be using my platform, you'll be submitting some of your data, and you will be paid for your data that you'll be providing. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kofi. I'm a senior MIS student, and my team member, Madav. Our team name is 404. We are essentially building a dating app targeted to the fitness community. As of right now, marriage rates in the United States are very low, coupled with high divorce rates as well. What we see is an opportunity to not only improve this, but then also help the single population in America.
As also being the part of the fitness community, me and my partner here, we've seen that most of our potential target customers are unfortunately single, not by choice. So hence, that's how the idea came in by building a dating app for the fitness community. Thank you.
So, as I mentioned earlier, I'm from the Small Scale Wind Turbine. My name is Matthew Skrzynski, and the problem we'd like to address is the lack of access to small scale, low cost electricity generation, especially for low income communities. The big problem is that many families today, not only inside the United States, but especially worldwide in third world countries, suffer from either struggling to pay their electric bills or not having access to electricity at all. In the United States alone, 66 million people, that's 20% of the United States population, struggle to pay their electricity bill. So that means that even if you have access to electricity, you're struggling to pay that bill each and every month because you're making a minimum wage and can't afford to run your appliances. This, in the United States, is the first step in which we can utilize this turbine to offset some of those costs, especially for those in the United States. The longer term plan is to get to those 940 million people worldwide who don't even have access to electricity at all. Imagine them. Yeah, thanks.
Hi everyone, my name is Mohammed Shahjahan, and I can say that almost 100%, I think that everyone here has experienced back pain and shoulder pain because of wearing a backpack every day. So the problem that I'm trying to solve is back pain that is caused by heavy loads and like heavy backpacks. And basically the problem is that heavy backpacks cause bad posture, which can lead to health complications further down the road. This mainly affects students, starting from, I'd say, middle school up until graduate school, but also anyone who wears a backpack on a day-to-day basis. And this pain is not temporary. This can actually lead to deteriorating physical health, which can actually be shown in your senior age. And I'm also looking for anyone in business or MIS. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, good evening. My name is Solomon. I'm a master's student, Peace and Conflict Resolution Management. The name of my group is Celebrum. How many of us have heard a child that killed the parents because they were too angry? Or that killed the sister because they were too angry? Or that killed the brother because they were too angry? Or that dropped out of school because they didn't know what they were studying? Or how many of us are here? We're just in school because we want to make our parents happy. Because we don't know what we want to do. We just want to pass time in school. How many of us have seen children who are involved in drugs at a very young age? Cocaine, married woman. How many of us have seen young people who are pregnant? A kid who is pregnant who doesn't even know how to take care of themselves. Or a young man who has to go to prison because they got into a fight. These are social problems that young people face. And we think that the reason why they face these problems is because they don't have any medium that taught them how to manage themselves and manage their minds and manage their thoughts. So our Celebrum is a leadership training program for kids between 8 and 18. We teach them leadership and social interaction, especially in right now with social media, influence. This is a question that I want to ask. What is the percentage of young people who kill themselves every year due to social media dysfunction?
20%.
How many?
20.
No, it's more than 20. It went up 60%. What about those that hurt themselves? What is the percentage due to social media dysfunction?
30%.
It went up 660%. The number of kids that that hurt themselves just because they are not satisfied with the way they look, or their friend did a thumbs down on them on what they posted. So we're teaching them social skills. We're teaching them to discover themselves, know who they are, and be themselves. And when they grow, they use what they know about themselves to educate and influence their communities and be productive people in the society. That is what the group is all about.
My name is Sam, I'm also part of the team. So our issue is we're trying to combat a lack of community cohesion by increasing opportunities and resources for local entrepreneurs and creatives. A lack of community cohesion is a problem that affects local artists, businesses, nonprofits, community members, and the city as a whole. It creates dangerous living situations, a depleting environment, feelings of division, lack of revenue and sustainability due to lack of exposure, increased self-doubt, and other issues. This is a significant problem because it creates financial insecurity, mental health afflictions, poverty, and increasing unemployment rates in the community.
I'm Kevin, I'm in computer science, and my idea is about pay cut. This was an idea that allowed me to become a semi-finalist in the 2020 DCU Main School Business Challenge. Yeah, we're using this idea for the Idea Challenge. It's meant to be a payroll software company that is meant to solve the issue of hiring budget constraints, and plus employees can earn interest on a bond paycheck. The idea is that a company can borrow a portion of the employee's paycheck and agree to pay it to the employee later on rather than on payday.
So my idea was, so the problem is like a basic that one. And what happened, like wherever you go, you find like a lot of immigrants with difficulties to speak English. Americans, they don't understand as well, so they have like a socialization problem between each other. So my idea was helping both, especially the immigrants as well, who has a large community here in the U.S.
A lot of great ideas for the problem statement. So the next steps is to test your assumptions when you are defining your problem. Most importantly, talk with those who are concerned with this problem, i.e. talk with the stakeholders. At least talk with 10 people who are concerned with this problem. Tell more of why is it important to them as much as it's important to you. And mostly utilize the library databases to get the research, to get your numbers, the prevalence, the percentages, and so on and so forth. And talk to different research fellows. sure to talk to your peers because as you see, this is really an engaging exercise where your peers help you to clarify whatever is not clear in your problem. If you have any questions, you can talk to Holly or to Dave as part of the Difference Maker Institute as well. Refer to the Difference Maker webpage. They have a lot of resources for team building in addition to examples of the ideas challenge that were successful before. If you need additional teammates, please make sure to visit the website for the team maker or team building on Difference Maker. And Molly is sharing these handouts, which are additional resources to further define your problem as well. So these are very useful. Please make use of those as you are building up your idea for the pitch. So again, what's coming up next? The successful teams who really got funding from Difference Maker attended the 4 workshops, were in touch with the Difference Maker staff and fellows. So please make sure to sign up and attend our next workshop on assessing opportunities and value propositions on February 22nd, the third one on February 24th of developing business model, and finally the developing your rocket pitch, which is very important as well because that will capture the judges when you are delivering your ideas and you're competing for the $50,000 idea challenge. With that in mind, again, important dates. March 3rd is the deadline to submit your idea. Idea plan is due online. That's the deadline. March 14th, you receive an email in case you were among the semifinalists. March 28th, it's online for the semifinalists to update their revised idea plan, and the rocket pitch is due as well. And on April 6th, in O'Leary Library, the preliminary pitch up is going to happen. And on April 13th is the major idea 50,000 idea challenge. All of this is listed on the postcard that you got at the beginning of this workshop. And with that, this is about the next one.
All right, thank you so much to our guest speakers and our mentors and our faculty fellows for being here. A few more reminders before you go. Registering for workshop number 2 and 3. Workshop 2 is next Tuesday. Workshop 3 is next Thursday. There'll be different guest speakers at each workshop. To keep it exciting, you get to meet new people, network with new folks. It's happening in this room, 5:30 to 7. And then again, the biggest thing to keep in mind is that what you're learning throughout this workshop series will help you develop your idea plan by March 3rd. So make sure that what you're learning, you're then logging in online and completing your idea plan. So we had passed out this appendix for customer interview questions. So what we all did today was we talked about the problems that you think you are solving. This is an assumption. You need to make sure you are talking to customers to validate that that is actually a problem. Because you might think it's a problem and then you're going to go out and talk to people and maybe it's actually slightly different or maybe it's not a problem at all. So it's important to use some of these questions and go out and validate your problem by talking to people you think are affected by that problem and doing your marketing research. So figuring out what's already out there as well as interviewing people and coming up with your own research. So I wanted to point out Dave Badalero again. So he's really great with marketing research. UMass Lowell has access to something called Qualtrics, which you can send out surveys that way, develop questions that way. So if you have any questions about that, get in touch with Dave and he can help you. Lastly, Adam, our co-op student, just passed out an evaluation sheet to everyone. If you did not get one, raise your hand and he will get you one. This will be an anonymous evaluation. We just want to gather your feedback so we can implement maybe new ideas and implement some of that feedback into future workshops.